Hi, I'm Larry London, and this is Border Crossings. Today, we are joined by singer-songwriter Risa Binder. Her new CD is produced by Grammy Award-winning Luke Wooten. Risa grew up in Maryland and calls herself a city girl, heaven bent for country music. Risa toured with Ronnie Millsap, and her music's been featured on iTunes and also on popular daytime TV shows, such as General Hospital, where she earned an Emmy nomination. Today, Risa calls Nashville home and looks back on today's Border Crossings program on a career highlight involving one of country music's stars, Beth Nielsen Chapman. She'll tell that story and sing a couple of songs, all coming up today with Risa Binder on Border Crossings.
You home.
Hi, I'm Larry London, and welcome to Border Crossings. On our show today, she's out on the road promoting a brand new song and some upcoming new music for her next album. Risa Binder is here in Washington, D.C. and joins us on The Voice of America. Risa, nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. You're on tour or with the whole group, with the band?
We're on tour. Yes, we are. It
and
feels really good.
Where are you guys performing here in D.C.?
Tonight we'll be at the, actually tomorrow we'll be at the Pearl Street Warehouse.
Uh-huh.
And that's a wonderful venue. And we just came from Frostburg State University last night. And then we're back May 9th opening for Rodney Atkins at the Weinberg Performing Arts Center. So we're just kind of jumping all around.
This is exciting stuff.
I know.
And so it's country music for you, but you're not a country girl. You grew up in Columbia, Maryland, which is very close to where I live.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Olney, which is not too far from Columbia, home of Meriwether Post Pavilion and whatnot.
Right.
So, I mean, how did you get into country music?
Well, I grew up in the theater, actually. Theater here in D.C. and Maryland. And I always wrote songs about boys I had crushes on, which is true. But the songs would always come out sounding country-like. And so after college, I started to make trips to Nashville, Tennessee, and I fell in love. There's a place called the Bluebird Cafe, and it is a place where songwriters go, and they sit in a circle facing each other, and they sing their hit songs, and everyone else is kind of on the outside looking in. And I went on a night that was all Garth Brooks writers, but not Garth Brooks. So I heard the writers sing the hits, and that changed my whole world. And I thought, how can I do that? I want to learn how to do that.
Wow.
And so I would just started to make trips to Nashville from New York. I jumped around quite a bit, and started to make a record. I was a waitress in Brooklyn, and would get all my money.
You did it all.
Yeah. And make my way to Nashville and start to learn how to write songs. And the community of songwriting in Nashville, is amazing. And I almost feel like it's the Olympics there, kind of, everyone's trying to get that gold medal. And you just learn a lot and soak it all up.
The Bluebird Cafe, it's interesting you mentioned that. Taylor Swift was there about a week or so ago.
She did a surprise show there.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, exactly. Now, it's got to be a different vibe everywhere you go. I mean, Columbia, Maryland isn't the epicenter of music as far as I know. But then there's Brooklyn, which again that's a place where music is. And then Nashville is Music City. All
three are so different. Growing up in Columbia, I live in a vibrant arts community, and so I just so thankful for my teachers and the people who told you to pursue your dreams. And so Columbia gave me that base. And then New York is just brewing with inspiration. I love people, and so I was the girl sitting on the subway kind of staring at people, making up stories about who that's where I find inspiration for songs. And so New York has that amazing electric energy, and then Nashville has a more laid back vibe where I feel like your brain can kind of open up and you can find a nice coffee shop and meet some people and write some songs. It's just a whole different vibe there.
Are you happy and settled in Nashville, or do you have another destination in mind?
I'm settled in Nashville at the moment. I'm definitely a gypsy. I jump around quite a bit, but I'll be there for a little while for sure.
And what is it that took you from acting and the stage to music? Why did you decide this is going to be the focus?
I kind of love doing both. I still sort of actually do both. Music is storytelling. Music is acting in a way to me, because you come up with that story and then you have to connect with the audience with it. And so I feel like I'm using my degree in college to connect with people through music.
Did you go to Frostburg?
I went to University of Maryland.
Oh!
But last night was so fun. No, I didn't go to Frostburg. We had a blast. They were a lovely audience, and It was my my first show back after being a new mom.
What was your major at Maryland?
Theater.
Perfect. Well, hopefully you get back into some acting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You do some movies and things like that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have you do some music since you got the whole band here.
I would love that. I'm so happy they're here. This song is called U-Haul, and it's my favorite breakup song that I wrote.
We'll start with a breakup song.
Okay, let's do it. We'll pack it up in a U-Haul, baby, where you're going doesn't matter at all. I've had enough for too long. Every trip to the truck gets you closer to gone. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul. Come on! Your dirty dishes from last week, they won't be piled in the kitchen sink. Throw in your tools and clothes on the lawn. All my girls getting all drinking, packing, party on. We'll pack it up in a U-Haul, baby, where you're going doesn't matter at all. I've had enough for too long. Every trip to the truck gets you closer to gone. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul. Now Petty told me he wanted to fly, so we're playing frisbee with your 45s, your poker table, your Xbox, that ugly lava lamp I accidentally dropped. We'll pack it up in a U-Haul, baby, where you're going doesn't matter at all. I've had enough for too long. Every trip to the truck gets you closer to gone. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul. I don't need your posters, I don't need your toaster. I'm getting off this roller coaster. We'll pack it up in a U-Haul, baby, where you're going doesn't matter at all. I've had enough for too long. Every trip to the truck gets you closer to gone. We'll pack it up in a U-Haul, baby, where you're going doesn't matter at all. I've had enough for too long. Every trip to the truck gets you closer to gone. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul. Babe, I'll pack it up now, U-Haul.
Yeah, Risa Binder and the gang. Woohoo! Got to have a U-Haul if you're going to sing country music. It's got to be
That's right.
breakups and U-Hauls.
That's right.
There you go. Risa's on the road right now promoting some brand new music. Now, we were talking before about you have 8 or 9 songs already recorded, ready to go.
Yes, so I work in Nashville with a producer named Luke Wooten, and he is unbelievable. He's worked with Dierks Bentley and Kelly Pickler and Brad He just did the last 2 Brad Paisley records. And so I have an EP out now called Nashville that we worked on together. And we just had so much fun in the studio. Let's do another one. And so we're about 8, 9 songs into the next record. U-Haul will be on that. And actually, U-Haul is out now on Spotify and things like that. So we've been releasing some as singles, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're just having a blast in the studio.
So do you have any titles for your debut album, full studio album?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. It may be our next song. Maybe you came along. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of throwing out ideas. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And so when you are writing, where do you find that you get inspiration from? Because you mentioned ex-boyfriends and things like that. So where these days, because I know you're a new mom.
I'm a new mom.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just 2 months in right now.
2 months in.
So 2 months of no sleep. And
That's right.
Maybe the album should be called No Sleep.
That would
and
be
maybe you
actually,
write a song about your new baby.
That's so truthful. The next song we're gonna do it is about her actually, which is what we'll talk about for sure. But yeah, my inspiration kind of comes from everywhere. I love people. I love truthful stories. And so I don't know about you, but like when I love to write, I'll put titles in my phone or write them on a piece of paper. Just titles come to me first. So I'll have these titles. And then from there, it kind of chunks out. I'll get a chorus first, and it'll keep going over and over again in my head. And I'm like, oh yeah, that'll work. And then for me, verses come later. So it's just kind of a different.
Have you always written country music, or did you notice that you had to do something different from what you were doing to make it for a country audience?
I always wrote songs that were truthful to me, and they're either about me or friends of mine. And so my very first record I made, called Paper Heart, which is online, you can find it. It was more in the pop vein. You know, but the raw, if you listen to the demo tapes of them, it did sound like it was going in a country direction, but we kind of brought in some pop sounds and things like that, which was so fun to do. And then, you know, this next one, it just felt really natural to move into this vibe that we have now.
Wow. And so, I mean, do you sing to your baby?
Oh, every day. I sing things like, you know, good morning, every morning. So I want to make sure she gets as much music as possible.
Are you going to encourage her to go into music or in the arts?
Absolutely. I want her to do whatever her little teeny heart desires.
What's her name?
Her name is Liel.
Liel. I like that.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very. That's a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, yeah. And I know she's here somewhere, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet her.
I would love that.
Little Liel.
She's so little.
So what's this tour right now that you're on? Where are you going? Is it an international tour, just U.S.? What's the plan for the whole thing?
So we actually just got off of, right when I was pregnant, I traveled each week all over the United States with the song U-Haul.
Wow.
And up until I was 30 weeks pregnant, and that was crazy and amazing. So she, in my tummy, went all over the United States. Wow. And so I had her 8 weeks ago, and now I'm just kind of getting my legs back, literally. And, you know, this is a Maryland tour again. We're coming back to do Maryland again with this new single. And the single, which we'll sing in a minute, is called You Came Along. And, you know, it's funny. I recorded it before Liel came into the world, but I didn't know it was about love in general. And then when she was here, I was like, guys, this is about her. And so we just made a music video for it, which isn't even out yet. And I got to have her in it. She was 3 weeks old when we did it. And so I cannot wait to show that video off once it comes out. Yeah, the tour that we're working on now, that we're creating, is promoting this next single, You Came Along. And it just went to country radio about 3 weeks ago, so it's just starting out there.
Well, you got us very excited now to hear it, so now the suspense has built.
Oh, no!
So it's time to hear the song. Risa Binder is our guest here on Border Crossings.
Cool. One more time round. Thought every picture was painted, finest wine in the world was tasted, every wild ride was written, no idea what I was missing. Thought every note had been sung, thought every melody hummed, yeah, every chord had been strummed. Just when I thought every song had been written, just when I thought every road had been driven, every red sunset, every good as it gets, thought I'd seen the best, but I was wrong. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, you came along. The sweetest kiss had been kissed, till yours fell on my lips. Seen the glow of a perfect night, till I looked into your eyes. Thought every touch had been touched, till I wanted yours so much. Yeah, I thought I knew love, just when I thought every song had been written, just when I thought every road had been driven, every red sunset, every good as it gets, thought I'd seen the best, but I was wrong. Just when I
Beautiful. Nice sound. I like your voice. Very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Risa Binder is here in our studios with the guys. Can we meet the guys?
Please, let's meet the guys. Of course. Over here on cajon, I have Heath Ledbetter. Yay! Give it a pre. And over here on guitar and vocals, we have Aaron Legrone.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And then over here on bass, we have Matt O'Donnell.
Hey.
And I'm just so thankful to have them with me.
Sounding great. Now, I'm sure when you do the show on stage as a performance, it sounds different than what we're hearing. This is the kind of the acoustic
This is
version
the acoustic version. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
It's a big party with Risa Binder on
It
stage.
is, absolutely. Last night we had full drums, and sometimes, depending on the size of the show, we have 2 guitars, we have another vocalist. It gets bigger, smaller, all that kind of good stuff.
And so being a local girl, I'm sure it's surreal if you haven't already, the thought of playing Merriweather Post, which is in Columbia where you grew up.
That's true. I've played their Wine in the Woods festival for about 6 years I played it. And so, yes, I always think about being on that main stage. That would be amazing.
Back home. Everybody back home. The family still live here?
They do. My parents. Yes, we were just there last night and spent the night there.
And your grandmother was a big influence on you growing up?
Oh, yeah. My Nana, yes, she is and was. She's a painter and a belly dancer. And just a wonderful woman. So, yeah, absolutely grew up.
That's great. Family's obviously very important to you.
It is.
So from what I was reading, what is a dream wall?
Oh.
You have a dream wall at home? What is a dream wall?
I do. I'm a big believer in focusing on what it is you want and maybe cutting out those images of what it is, putting it up where you can physically see it. Because our careers as artists are entrepreneurial or our own made. We don't get a report card really. Sometimes I wish we did. But I'm a very structured person, and so I need to kind of see where I want to go. So I'll basically cut out things like maybe a picture of a huge festival that I want to play, put it on my wall. A tour bus, which is a totally crazy thing because I did that. I put up a picture of a tour bus when I first moved to Nashville. And a year later, that exact tour bus that I put on my wall pulled up to take me on tour with my band to open for Ronnie Millsap, which I did for about a year. And so there's a power behind what your mind wants to see and putting it up and staring at it and working towards that. And eventually, I would say on my wall, maybe 80% of what I put up actually does happen. Not 100%, but pretty close, which is crazy.
You got to keep putting Grammys up. That's now.
I know. That'd be amazing. It definitely is my my compass of where I want to go.
And so you mentioned you opened for Ronnie Millsap. You also opened for James Taylor.
I did.
So did you meet them? Did they talk to you?
Oh, yes.
Any advice,
conversations? Oh, my gosh. I have an embarrassing story about James Taylor I can share. Okay,
all right.
I opened up for him at the Sunfest in West Palm Beach, and I didn't know that he would be there at my sound check, but he sound checked before me, which was crazy. He was singing Baby James and I was beside myself. And I thought, we took a picture together and I thought, if that was it, that was amazing. After my set, I get really jazzed, as you can probably tell. I get so excited to do this. After my set, I hugged the bouncer, on stage, and he was like, cool. And I go to walk down the stairs, and James Taylor is walking towards me. And so I had to hold on to a stranger. I was like, okay. And he's like, hey, Risa, really great job. How is it out there tonight? And the only thing I could think of to say was that it was windy. Because it's an open air stage. He's like, it's windy, really. It's windy. And apparently he doesn't like wind. It's like a completely. And I'm like, but they're going to love you out there. And I was wondering. So it was hilarious and just a memory I'll never forget, obviously. So that was my James Taylor story. My Ronnie Millsap story is we had the wonderful fortune of getting to, no pressure, but when I was in Nashville, maybe I lived there for 2 years, my manager at the time knew Ronnie's manager, and he was like, Ronnie may be looking for an opening act, and he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight, so why don't you open for him there, and if he likes you, he'll decide then if he'll take you on the road. And so, no pressure, okay? And so we did a set, and this is more of that dream wall thing, okay? Because we did a set, and at the end he goes, basically he's like, let's do 6 or 7 shows together. Our 7th show was in Florida, and it was snowing in Nashville, and Nashville doesn't do snow well, just let's be honest. And so all of the flights got canceled. Our flights got canceled. Matt was a part of this ordeal. And we went downstairs to the car rental place and rented it, quick thinking, let's rent a van. drive to Atlanta, try to get flights out of Atlanta. As we're just making our way out to Atlanta, just maybe 20 minutes outside of Nashville, all those flights get canceled. This is the tour bus story. And someone just, I had a sub drummer, his name's Mitch White at the time, and he's like, I could make one phone call. Have you ever thought about a tour bus? And I was like, what? I don't know if I can afford that. He makes a phone call. One bus left in Nashville, one bus. And that because Stephen Curtis Chapman...
Yeah, it didn't go because they were snowed out. They were snowed out in like Chicago or something like that.
And they said, if you turn around right now, we'll meet you at the airport at midnight and we will drive you to Florida. And the money that I had in my purse to pay my players, was the money that it cost to make this happen. And so it was just insane. So this tour bus pulls up, and it is the tour bus. That's my husband and I were like, that's the exact tour bus. It's that bus.
Wow.
And so we get on the bus, and I was so relieved. I slept for 16 hours straight. Jordan, I did on that tour bus. That was my first tour bus experience. And we got to Florida in time. Oh, this is the end of that story. We get to Florida, we do the show, and that particular show, Ronnie was sitting in the wings, and I remember Matt ran out. After our set, I was selling my own merch at the time. So here I am like, who wants a t-shirt? And Matt goes, hey, did you hear what Ronnie just said? He asked what the audience thought of the opener, and they liked us enough that Ronnie said, come with us as long as you want. If we had missed that show and not taken that tour bus, that would have never happened. So we were able to open for him for the full year because of that day.
Close to 18 months.
18 months.
The difference between 8 weeks and 18 months was
huge. And that was, and just to be honest, there was, someone in our camp that day that was like, you should cancel. You're never going to make it there. And I'm like, we don't cancel. We're going to figure out how to get to Florida. And we did.
Wow.
And so that's, I feel like that's the part of show business that not a lot of people maybe talk about, because you see, this thing.
The behind the scenes stories.
But how much work it took to get to that 20-minute set in Florida or 30-minute set in Florida was a lot of work, but very rewarding.
It sounds like a song. I mean, must be a song in that story. You can
you're
turn
right.
something out of that story into some music and then share the royalties with Ronnie.
That'd be amazing. He's so phenomenal.
We've got Risa Binder here, and you have another story, interesting story, all about interesting stories. Beth Nielsen Chapman. There's an interesting story there.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So I'm a huge believer in signs. I don't know. Do you guys believe in signs? Yeah. Okay.
Stop signs, yield signs.
Yield signs. Well, just that signs kind of guide you. Things are meant to be, and
serendipity.
And so this was my sign. So my label, Warehouse Records, was like, you should probably move to Nashville now. It's time. And so I was on a flight from New York to Nashville, not sure when or if I was moving there. And I just kind of said a prayer. If I'm supposed to move to Nashville, God, could you hit me over the head with a sign? I really need a sign. And there were 2 seats left on the plane. And I ended up sitting next to a woman named Beth Nielsen Chapman, who is an incredible songwriter who wrote This Kiss for Faith Hill and Happy Girl for Martina McBride. Just the list goes on and on.
She had her own hits too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so she's on her computer, and I'm like, it says Beth Chapman. I was being, I guess, kind of nosy, and I'm like, are you Beth Nielsen Chapman? She's like, yeah. I'm like, tell me about your life. We had a wonderful talk, and when the flight lands, she's like, can you help me grab my guitar? And her guitar case, she put it over her shoulder and starts to walk off the plane, and her guitar case right in front of me just said Faith in big words on it. About 2 months later, we exchanged numbers, and she called me and said, do you want to be my guest at the Bluebird? And so the first time that I got to sing at the Bluebird was with her.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a debut there, huh?
She announced me and was like, I met this chick on a plane. and that I was like, I can't believe this happened. And my husband, Jordan, was in the audience. We were both in tears. I'm emotional right now talking about it, because I went to the Bluebird for so many years thinking, I don't know when it'll be my turn to play. And
sure.
I don't normally get nervous on stage. I feel like I'm having a conversation in my living room with friends. But sitting in that circle, I was so nervous. Because of the people who had sat there before me.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
That conversation could have gone another direction. She could have called security and said, get this lady out of here.
Lady's
but
a
instead it worked out.
It worked
That's
out
great.
beautifully.
That's happy endings, which is what we love.
Yes.
All right, so if you got another song, we would love to hear some more live music.
I would love to play it. Actually, this song was inspired through dream boards. It's about following your dreams, no matter how hard, no matter what they are. that they're placed in your heart for a reason, and you have to follow them no matter what. And so this song is called Light It Up. There is a spark that's been lit in my heart, and I follow it every day. But the wanting, the waiting, the anticipating can drive anyone insane when we're always hearing no, no, no. But you gotta let it go. I said, hey, all you dreamers, all you starry-eyed believers, who you are is enough. Light it up, from the flame comes a fire. Oh yeah, we're gonna burn brighter, and it feels like it's our time to shine. Light it up, light it up. Look in the mirror, see yourself clearly, know that you're beautiful. You're like nobody else, so be true to yourself. Yeah, you're an original. You're paving your own road, taking chances as you go. I said, hey, all you dreamers, all you starry-eyed believers, who you are is enough. Light it up, from the flame comes a fire. Oh yeah, we're gonna burn brighter, and it feels like it's our time to shine. Light it up, whoa, light it up. Whoa, yeah. This is your life right here, right now. Whoa, yeah. Light it up and live it loud. I said, hey, all you dreamers, all you starry-eyed believers, who you are is enough. Light it up, from the flame comes a fire. Oh yeah, we're gonna burn brighter, and it feels like it's our time to shine. Light it up, whoa, light it up, whoa, light it up, whoa, light it up.
Yeah, Risa Binder, live here on Border Crossings. And so what's the time frame for the new album?
It'll be out at some point this year. I'm
This
sure.
year.
Yes.
All right. No pressure.
No pressure.
This year, coming up between taking care of the baby and
There's
writing
a lot of
songs.
new. But you know what? You can find a lot of my music right now. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music, and on my website as well.
Which is?
Oh, RisaBinder.com.
RisaBinder.com.
Mm-hmm.
Did I read on your Facebook page something about an Emmy nomination?
Yeah.
Surprise.
It's great. Wow. I got nominated for an Emmy Award for Best Song in a Daytime Drama, and for a song called Just Like That we can play if you want or not. But no, it was such a surprise to be nominated. You didn't know it was going to happen, but you never know where a song is going to go. So yeah, it was on General Hospital, and
nice.
It got written into the script of the show. So if you Google Risa Binder or even YouTube it, Just Like That, General Hospital, it's not me singing it. It's actually this actress named Star singing the song to her mom in this dramatic way on General Hospital.
And maybe one day you'll be on General Hospital.
Oh my God, I would
singing
love
that
that
song.
I could be
using
her
your...
songwriting teacher or
there
something.
It is. Now, where can people go to your Facebook page? What's
Oh yeah, I'm Facebook. My name Risa Binder on Facebook. Please follow me. I'll follow you back. I love hanging out on social media. Instagram as well. I'm Risa, Risa, and the word stuff, Risa Stuff, and that's my Twitter handle as well.
Great. Reach out to you, and then you'll respond back. That's very nice. And so the tour continues the rest of the year, and let us know as you know the tour might go internationally. We'd like to share that with the audience as well. And
I'd love to have that happen. So
we'll have you back when the album comes out.
Oh, thank you. That'd be wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Nice to meet you all. Risa Binder is her name, and check her out online, and you can buy her music as well, and she'll be putting out her new CD sometime this year. My name's Larry London, and you're watching Border Crossings.